So the production of a traditional sparkling, what
Yep.
makes it different from if someone's trying a Prosecco or a Brut or a Champagne?
Okay, so there are a few different ways to make sparkling, and there are advantages and disadvantages to each. The cheapest, quickest way is in mass production, cheapest sparklings. You basically run it through a giant soda stream. You're injecting carbon dioxide into the wine.
That makes sense.
Does make sense. Prosecco is made in pressurized tanks. So because of the volume of wine compared to the lees, which is responsible for some of the flavors in a wine like this, you're not picking up those flavors as much. So they're more about freshness and fruit, and they can be absolutely delicious. And then method traditional is arguably, and for most people, considered the most prestigious. Same as champagne. I'll use my Riesling as a prop.
Please.
So firstly, you make a wine, you then bottle it. You add some sugar and yeast. You make it ferment again in the bottle, and as it's fermenting, keep in mind at this stage, sorry, it's sealed with a crown seal, so like a beer.
Yep.
As it's fermenting, it's releasing carbon dioxide gas. That's got nowhere to go. The seal prevents it from escaping, and it is very soluble, so that dissolves into the wine. That's where your bubbles come from. And then that yeast dies and forms a sediment called lees, which is really important to method traditional sparklings because it's where a lot of the flavors come from. At that stage, they are stored on their side, and this is where you hear this wine spent 9 months on lees, like this guy, or this wine spent 3 years or whatever it was. The longer, the more flavour it gets. But you need to get those lees out of there. So the next step is riddling and disgorgement. So they slowly turn the bottle, the yeast flows down into the neck, they flash freeze that neck, turn the bottle the right way around. Most of this is done by machine, of course.
Yeah.
The pressure in the wine forces that little gross plug of yeast out, along with a little bit of wine. You have dosage, where you add a little bit of usually sugar and wine. That's where you determine the final sweetness you want. So Brut, extra Brut. Put a cork in, put a cage on, and you finished your production of your sparkling.
What a process.
Really expensive way to make wine.
Yeah.
There's a reason if you have 6 wines in a range and one of them's a method traditional sparkling, it's often that little bit more expensive. They are harder to make, they take longer, they involve really specialist equipment, and you need fruit that can last that long as well and produce the right flavours.
Flavours, it's very smooth.
Yeah, it's really soft. I think the thing I like about this is, and there's an art to this, is that you can drink it without thinking about it, or you can take your time and actually really pull some interesting flavours out. So you do have those quite subtle lees characters, again only 9 months, but there's honey toast brioche biscuit, and you do also see heaps of fresh fruit, like red apple and strawberry. And
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, it's fruity without being fruity.
Yeah, exactly. Or sweet or sickly or any of that. It's dry and crisp finish.